Now you see how we can accommodate both the 7 and the 7:30 beginning time. Dobry wieczór. Dobro poszanować do Słowiańsk wieczór. Dobry wieczór. Laskawo prosimo na słowiański wieczór. Dobry wieczór. Witamy do wieczór Słowian. Dobry wieczór. Witamy was na słowańskim wieczorze. Dobry wieczór. Dobrodošli na Slovensku večer. Dobro večer. Dobrodošli na Slovensku večer. Now last year I forgot to tell you what I said. It was not a papal blessing, but it was a greeting. Good evening and welcome to Slavic evening. We tried to do it in Russian, Ukrainian, Polish, Czech, Croatian, and Serbian. And I might mention that last year I had referred to the news with the Bosnian, Herzegovinian, and the Serbian crisis going on, and I said that the Slavs seem to have a continual sibling rivalry. But we also wanted to share with you a vision of Slavic unity. And as a matter of fact, we reached into the most troublesome spot of Slavic conflicts at this time in the former Marshal Tito Yugoslavia. And the Serbs and the Croatians have been going at it for some time. And we have an anomaly with us tonight. We have a friendly Serb and we have a friendly Croatian. They've both been students of mine. One is Sasha, or Alexander Velchik, who was our host, our co-host last year, and he's from Belgrade, Yugoslavia, or Belgrade, Serbia, whatever we call this now. And then another one of my students, who also happens to be a friend of my niece Winona, and this qualified her to be co-host. This is Eileen Pechinik from West Covina, California. She is a second generation, well, her parents came over from Croatia. And we have, as I said, an anomaly, a friendly Serb and Croatian. They're going to take over tonight with the rest of the festivities. And so I welcome at this time Sasha and Aileen.
Good evening and welcome to Slavic Evening 1995. My name is Sasha Velic.
My name is Aileen Pasinik. So Sasha, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Slavs?
Slavs, well, I first think about brilliant music like the one, the Swan's Lake, the one that Tchaikovsky wrote. I think of wonderful architecture. Our churches are quite good looking. I think of brilliant coasts. Our Slavic coast is probably one of the most beautiful in the world. And I also think of delicious Slavic snacks that are waiting on us afterwards.
Yeah. So, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Russia?
Russia. Well, I think first of all about the architecture again and churches. Russian churches look quite excellent. And for instance, Kremlin, the presidential palace, is something worthy to be visited because it just looks absolutely fabulous. And I also think of the Red Square, that large, huge space in which kids can play. And, in Russia, we call pigeons.
Like this up here?
Yeah, right there. You see, it's a huge space. Now, let's see. Can we see? Oh, there we are. There are the children having fun. And there is a piece of that beautiful architecture. Okay. And then we have something else, as I said.
This is the onion skin domes that they're famous for. The architecture.
Yes, they're very famous architecture. If you go to Russia, you'll see these kinds of churches all over the country.
And here's a beautiful fountain. Again, you see how beautiful their architecture is.
Exactly, you can see those brilliant ornaments. Russians paid attention to make their architecture look really great and appealing to eyes. And this is another religious monument. If you ever go to Russia, you can find all kinds of monuments to Jesus Christ. This is one in Novgorod, a Russian city. And on the background, you see again those wonderful churches, the tops and the roofs of those brilliant churches, some of which have like the golden ornaments right there. And once again, another of the brilliant churches I think this is in St. Petersburg, which was built by the famous Russian Tsar, Peter, who brought all the European architects to create beautiful cities. So if you go to St. Petersburg, it looks like any other European city today.
All right. For our first performance, we have
Korobushka. This is a dance that basically evolved from the Ukrainian Russian immigrants that came to this country. So it's not one of those ancient dances. What is nice about Korobushka is that actually it represents one of our modern expressions of our Slavic culture. So to do it for us, we would like to introduce to you AU Slavic dancers, accompanied by the Ulmer Band and directed by Susan Krissinger. Impressive young people, aren't they? Impressive young people, aren't they? Please feel free to give them support next time they dance. We would like to have audience participation. This is Slavic evening, and we want all of you to have fun and participate because this is evening for you.
And our next performance is from Mario Hernandez.
Yes, Mario Hernandez is a wonderful Latin friend from Colombia. from the city called Manizales, which is the home city of my booth mate as well. So hi, Carlos, if you're somewhere there. Mario recently stated that the Slavic music is so simple and so powerful, and he told me, you know, that's the best music in the world. So, we're going to prove that from Mario. So please help us welcome our dear friend from Colombia, Mr. Mario Hernandez, performing for you a song called Tishina, which means silence, or silencia for those who are Spanish speakers. So, Mr. Mario Hernandez with accordion, violin, and clarinet trio.
Nociu za okном mieteł, byli bezspokojne snie. Ty живешь за 3 дирияр зимой, ты не вспоминаешь обо мне. Знаю, не строчки не придет. Память больше не нужна. По большому городу придет тишина. Ты меня не ждешь давным-давно. Нет у тебя пути дорог. Счастье у людей весов одно, только я его не уберу. Ночью мне покоя не дает, горькая моя вина. Ночью за окном зенит поет. Тишина. Только мне тебя найти, отыскать в любом краю. Только мне сказать тебе прости, руку взять любимую трою. Рассказать, как ночи не пролет, здесь тебя за нос идет, здесь тебя за нос идет. Тишина. Знаю, вернешься, все пройдет, ночь оставим у окна. И как прежде в гости к нам придет тишина.
Have more slides. Oh, there we are. Darkness.
Hello.
There was darkness and there was light. Slavic Evening 95, all right? Thank you, Mario. We can tell him thank you in our language. Hvala, Mario. Well, the song was a wonderful song. Talks about a lover who remained alone and he's just, longing for her to come back. So, Mario, thank you very much on behalf of all of us Slavs.
Our next performance is from the ladies of the AU Slavic dancers. This song means in the garden in English, and in Russian.
In Russian, it's в саду, and that's actually, as my dear counterpart Eileen said, it's a wonderful female dance. It could be danced by males, and basically it's one of those like occupational dances. This dance could be performed by either ladies or men, and basically its content may not convey farming work, but however its artistic beauty will convey the wonderful cultural heritage that we Slavs have. And we'll have that from our AU Slavic dancers. We would like you to participate and encourage our ladies to really entertain you. We would like you to clap as real Slavs. We would like you to have fun. So with that, please welcome AU ladies Slavic dancers accompanied by the Ulmer Band. Well, wonderful dance. You're a brilliant audience. I mean, any Slavic country would be proud of you, I'm pretty sure.
So, Sasha, what is the first thing that comes to mind when I say Poland?
When you say Poland, well, I think of our mothers, Slavic mothers, because we're going to have a wonderful song on that theme. But when I think about Poland, I think about pierogies for some reason. Pierogies are those wonderful Slavic snacks you eat. I think of Chopin. Chopin is a person who developed so-called musical form mazurka that the world would never see unless that Slavic composer developed it to its full strength. I also think of Korzybski. Now, Alfred Korzybski is not well known, among you, but among the people who are involved with general semantics, Alfred Gorsybski is the father of general semantics. So if you wonder about the meaning of your words that you use in English, well, blame Alfred Gorsybski, he's the one. And I'm pretty sure Dr. Mas will be proud of me now, since I mentioned his favorite individual in the general semantics. Now, we're going, okay. Right there, we see the Constitution, signing of the Polish Constitution. Now you may ask, what's the big deal about Polish Constitution? Well, the big deal is that this is the first European Constitution that was framed after the American Constitution. So the Polish legislative system is more or less very similar to the American one.
Here we have the Teutonic Knights.
Teutonic Knights and Slavs who have clashed, and as you can see, the fierce battle took place. Of course, the Slavs prevailed, needless to say, but we Slavs have been invaded by many people from, Asia and elsewhere in the world. Somehow we survived. I don't know how, but we did. So here's one example of our fierce struggle for survival.
Our next performance is Matka, which means mother. A lot of the Slavs have a special love towards their mother, as I do myself, and I'm sure Sasha does.
I do. Matka is actually a wonderful song, one of those nostalgic songs. It's a very sad song. We Slavs have that theme of sadness in our songs that you perhaps noticed. It's either love, yearning for love, or yearning for someone who left us, or maybe for our parents, which many of our Hispanic friends can certainly sympathize because many of their songs are very beautiful love songs. So Matka is a sad song because the mother is dying in this case, and the son is asking, well, you're the one who have brought me up, you're the one who, since my cradle, and now you're going to leave me, and he's basically asking, why are you leaving me, mother, now? And it's going to be performed by?
This will be performed by the Linguistic Class Choir and accompanied by the Ulmer Band. Please help us welcome them.